If you're looking for a fantasy story that doesn't just flirt with being adults only, but takes you on a full blown, leather clad, candle lit, we're going there kind of journey, then buckle up because the monsters we feed isn't for the meek. It's indulgent, it's explicit, it's dark. But beneath the surface of all that grit and flesh, beats a heart with something deep to say, if you can handle it. Hey there, I'm Jim, and welcome back to Fantasy for the Ages, where my son Zach and I dig into all things fantasy, sci fi, and other nerdy fun that makes life just a little bit more magical. Zach's not with me today, but don't worry, this one's definitely a solo episode. Because trust me, this book's content is not exactly family friendly. I don't think I'd want to discuss it with my son. If you enjoy these kind of reviews, I might question you and your taste. But seriously, whether you like epic fantasy, you like intimate stories, you like outrageously over the top, well, be sure to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss all the episodes we have coming out to you. We've got something almost every day. And thank you again to our highly valued Patreon supporters, you beautiful legends who actually pay for this madness. You're the reason we can keep making videos like this instead of muttering about them into the void. If you'd like to join that exclusive club of literary adventurers, hit the link in the description and help keep the fantasy alive. Plus, you get access to bonus content, early episode releases, and Zach's outtakes. Well, okay, not really that last one. Yet. I think that would be awesome. I'm going to figure out how to get those up there. Today, we are diving into The Monsters We Feed, written by Thomas Howard Riley and released in 2022. Set in the same dark, grim, magically intricate world as his debut novel, We Break Immortals. I already have a review on that quite some time back. This is a gritty, epic fantasy, equal parts mystery, psychological exploration, and adult only urban intrigue. So, why did I read this one? This is actually my second venture into a novel by Thomas Howard Riley. My first was that other novel I mentioned, We Break Immortals, which I discovered through a recommendation from Spencer, my friend who runs the Fantasy Files podcast, also YouTube channel. Seriously, if you haven't checked out Spencer and Gabe and all the content they have going on there, you need to go do it. Now, We Break Immortals was not love at first page for me. I almost DNF'd it about 10% in, and I nearly never DNF. But I pushed through, and by the end, I was impressed. I was so glad I hadn't given up. The world building was dense, the magic system was fascinating, and the author's blend of grit, gore, and adult content was, let's say, unapologetically extra. That's part of what almost got me to DNF it. But persevering, it actually worked. After I posted my review of We Break Immortals, Spencer kindly gifted me a copy of The Monsters We Feed, another story set, like We Break Immortals, in Luminaworld, though not a direct sequel to that first novel. It sat on my TBR for months until it finally demanded my attention. Said, hey, my turn. And now that I've read it, let's talk. Here's my Spoiler-Lite Synopsis, just to give you a taste. This is set in the sprawling, corrupt city of Colchin. The Monsters We Feed follows Jathan Algvin, a privileged young man who spends more time avoiding responsibility than embracing it, until one night when he witnesses something horrific that ties him to a mystery he just cannot let go of. As Jathan's life spirals into the city's underbelly, filled with assassins, addicts, magic users, and seducers, he discovers a world of power and pain that threatens to devour him whole. Along the way, his bond with his sister, Lyra, is tested, and his flawed sense of morality gets torn open for all to see. There's magic here that seeps into your bones, politics that rots from within, and temptations that make every decision dangerous. Not to mention deception and lies that color everything. It's part noir thriller, part fantasy tragedy, and entirely unpredictable. So, overall, my thoughts on this book: I enjoyed The Monsters We Feed, and far more than We Break Immortals. There was never a moment when I thought to DNF this one. The writing is tighter, the pacing smoother, and the themes, they hit me much deeper. While the grit and gore are still present, they're a bit more restrained, a little more nuanced. The adult content? Okay, that's dialed up to 11. That first book had nothing. This book does not fade to black. It's more like, turn up the spotlight and let's make it awkward for anyone listening nearby. There is a lot of boom chicka boom boom going on, and occasionally some, that's creative moments. But that's the thing. Beneath the excess, this story works. The characters are compelling, the emotions feel authentic, and there's substance beyond the shock value. Now, plenty of readers will not get into this. This is not a book I'm going to go around and recommend to some of my friends. It's fair. There are things in here that just, they're not going to be for you. But here are 8 reasons that many of you might get into this book. Number 1, the richly designed fantasy world. Luminaworld remains a marvel. Its magic system is as intricate as ever, and it feels lived in. Number 2, the fantastic characters. From the flawed main duo to the rogues, lovers, and villains around them, everyone is distinct and interesting. Number 3, the mysteries. There's always another question around the corner, and Thomas Howard Riley keeps you guessing. Number 4 would be the protagonist. Jathan is deeply flawed, often frustrating, and yet somehow still sympathetic. My 5th reason, the villain. There's a deliciously dreadful big bad who is pure nightmare fuel. Number 6 is the redemption arcs. There's more than one, and surprisingly, they are heartfelt. Number 7 would be the reveals. I already had the mysteries, but man, there are some really cool reveals in this book. Some of them you will see coming. Nevertheless, they're deeply satisfying, and some of them, they come out of nowhere, but still feel right. And finally, my 8th reason is the action sequences. Riley knows how to write intense cinematic combat scenes that demand your full attention, and this is with his magic involved in some incredible ways. As I said earlier, this is the second book set in Luminaworld, but it's not a sequel. So the question becomes, do you need to read We Break Immortals first? I would recommend it. You'll appreciate The Monsters We Feed much more with the context that that book gives you. But you could absolutely read this one as a standalone. It's shorter, tighter, and might even serve as a good entry point to Luminaworld. If you like this one, though, and you started with it, you would most certainly want to move on to We Break Immortals. So, if you like your fantasy intense, explicit, and dripping with dark intrigue, but also smart, layered, and unexpectedly emotional at times, The Monsters We Feed might just satisfy your darker appetites. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.